Oh, sure, Donald Trump came out swinging today in a speech about Hillary Clinton, and hours later, hilarity responded.
He just continues to spout reckless ideas that will run up our debt and cause another economic crash.
That was a tepid response. Are any of Trump's verbal punches going to bruise her in this general election? Let's ask my tiger-proof party panel. Tonight, it's Fox Business Network's Dagen McDowell. Yeah, I give her a 10, absolutely. Tom Shillue is also here, host of Red Eye on the Fox News Channel. And Katherine Mangu-Ward, the brand new editor-in-chief of Reason Magazine. Celebrate with Katherine by getting your subscription today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And welcome, everybody. I'm going to start with you, Tom. I thought a lot of people said that he went after her, no holds barred. I thought it was actually a very logical speech for him.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense. I thought, and a lot of the anti-Trump people, or what do they call them, the never-Trumpers, on Twitter were very impressed. They said, wow, this is probably the best speech he gave. I hope he doesn't speak, I hope he doesn't say anything else all day. That's what they're all saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was very effective. I thought, I think this is a kind of a preview of what we're going to see from Trump. He was still attacking. It was kind of Trump style. You know, just you could see the way he was saying Bosnia.
Yeah.
You know, yes, that same. He picks on such weird things.
Yeah.
Like that's the lie that he's going to go for, is the lying about Bosnia. But that's the kind of thing that I think resonates with people. That's why Trump is doing a lot better than everyone says, and Hillary's in trouble.
I don't know if she's in trouble yet, because on the electoral map, she still has quite an advantage and a lead in two of the three big swing states. However, this speech could resound with independents. Did he make any inroads with them?
He did, because it was ordered and reasoned, or more reasoned, than the way that he still communicated in the way that he has, using those kind of catchwords. I love the fact that he uses the word rich. He actually talked about that when he declared his candidacy last year, because that's not a dirty word to people, and I think that's what resonates with folks. I wish he needs a bigger room so it doesn't sound like he's standing in somebody's kitchen giving the speech. He needs a bigger audience, but I think that it does work, and it will connect with people. And you know, Hillary Clinton's unfavorables are still pretty doggone close.
No, they're very high and very close to each other. I thought it was smart of him to give specific numbers to countries like Saudi Arabia, saying that they have donated $25 million to the Clinton Foundation, yet they treat women and gays like this, homosexuality punishable by death in Saudi Arabia. Certainly something that resonates right now. The problem that I had with the speech wasn't necessarily when he was talking about her. It's when he was sounding like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. When he's talking about infrastructure, when he's talking about bringing manufacturing essentially by force back to this country. Did you think that was problematic?
Right. I mean, I think seeing these two speeches side by side reminds us that the policy prescriptions are not that far apart. And I think this election in particular, it's tough to make the case, oh, there's no difference between the two major parties. Clearly, these are very different candidates. But, yeah, they're both standing up there saying, like, blah, 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 infrastructure, blah, 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 American manufacturing, blah, 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 we're being taken advantage of in the global marketplace. And sure, in between times, they're saying incredibly awful and, in every case, at least slightly exaggerated, horrible things about each other. But the fact that all the policy sounds the same and that it sounds like something Bernie could say is not good news for people who like free markets and trade.
No, it goes to show you how incredibly effective his populism has been, because this is not an election for rationality, civil liberties, or the free market or free trade. I mean, really, all of those things are essentially being squashed.
Which is weird, because at the state level, a lot of those things are increasingly popular and taking hold, and then it just seems like when it comes to the executive, it's all blown up.
But I blame every major politician who didn't drive outside of D.C. for the last 30-some-odd years. Even leaders like Mitch McConnell from a state that's been hard hit with NAFTA. I mean, this has been going on for 30 years. This is where I grew up, where the jobs disappeared, the textile jobs, the furniture manufacturing jobs. Regardless, I mean, if you want to call it innovation, like we're actually now creating and designing and iPhones in this country, which is a more advanced economy. Nevertheless, there's an entire swath of people starting at the Atlantic Ocean, moving to the west, and they are angry.
No, look at the Rust Belt. I mean,
ignored.
it's been decimated, but I think more government is not the prescription, more unions not the prescription.
We wouldn't
to
be
fix
here
what's wrong.
if these politicians had been able to talk to these people in a rational way and if they'd been paying attention to them 20 years ago.
Yeah, or, you know, you can even vote them out of office. They do the exact same thing, including Hillary Clinton. Yesterday marked her 200th day since she's held an actual press conference. She's had plenty of rallies, but not a lot of questions. So why is she so shy around journalists? She says that she has a bunch of sit-down interviews, Tom, but that's really not the same thing as being challenged, unscripted, by a pool or a bunch of members of the press whose questions can feed off each other.
Absolutely, which she's not going to do. She won't do it. She'll have her sit-downs, which go well with journalists that love her, and she does very well with those.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't want to answer questions. I haven't stopped saying it all week. This thing about, like, oh, Trump is getting crushed. I think Hillary is in huge trouble.
Yeah.
And I think in swing states, I mean, I think it's unbelievable. After the past 3 months of what Trump has had to deal with and all the bad press he's getting and all the mistakes he's made, he's within 1 point in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's within 2 points in Ohio. Hillary's in major trouble when he cleans up his act, which he is probably going to do. Let's face it.
No, he has no choice but to clean up his act if he wants to win the presidency, and I think he'll do that. I think he's nimble enough. I think that she doesn't just withhold from press conferences because she's not good at it. I think she has an open disdain for the press. What do you think? I mean, you're a magazine editor.
She does. Here's the thing, though. Even if she had press conferences, like, this is not the central piece that keeps our democracy alive. A room full of essentially elite members of the press shouting semi-inane questions is not the bulwark between us and tyranny.
Yeah.
So the idea that somehow, like, if but she could hold a press conference, we could really get to the truth of Hillary.
Yeah.
Maybe a little self-aggrandizing on the part of the press.
But she is very slippery when she comes. But that's when she makes the most mistakes. Isn't in those impromptu
apparently
moments.
she makes the most mistakes when she's like running the State Department and setting up her own email service. I mean, you know, it's
but
not
then
just
answering for it is
right. But her mistakes, the key mistakes that Hillary makes are not gaffes. She's pretty disciplined. The mistakes are
giant
governance.
structural.
I mean, the
But
mistakes
her
are giant
public
structural.
persona is an egg that's held together with not so sticky Scotch tape, and it's going to. And I think that when she gets in front of a room, she's worried about it just breaking apart.
I am terrified of this metaphor. Like, is the egg raw?
No,
is it raw?
No, the egg has a.
Is it an ostrich egg? Because those are bigger than my head.
Is it a Kinder egg with a toy in it?
Oh,
that's
dragon in it.
Oh, wow.
No, we are not going full Game of Thrones on this.
I feel like we've just gone to Tolkienville.